Morning. Welcome to our Sunday School lesson review for Sunday, April 5th, 2020. The title of our lesson is God's Just Servant. Our alternate title is God's Servant, Jesus. Our lesson comes from the book of Isaiah, chapter 42, verses 1 through 9. Our key verse in today's lesson is, "Here is my servant, whom I uphold, my chosen, in whom my soul delight. I have put my spirit upon him. He will bring forth justice to the nation." Isaiah 42 and 1. About our author in today's lesson, the prophet Isaiah. He was a Hebrew prophet who believed to have lived 700 years before the birth of Jesus Christ. He was born in Jerusalem, Israel. In the year King Uzziah died, Isaiah found his calling. He prophesied the coming of the Messiah, Jesus Christ. We all are called to be God's servants and to listen to God's voice. When God gives us direction, God never steers us wrong, for we can really rely on God and trust in him. In today's lesson, our prophecy, Isaiah prophesied that Judah will fall to the Babylonians due to their behavior to God. We desire to see and support leaders who promote justice and take the step to punish and stop the acts of injustice. This was not the case among the Israelites in the time addressed by the prophets Michael and Isaiah. The poor and the oppressed people wondered when injustice would die. Their hearts longed for a time of peace, justice, and fair play. God saw what was happening, and he was not happy. God had a plan to address the situation. God set appointed times for the events to unfold. So therefore, he used the prophet Isaiah to share the plan with the suffering people. First, God called enduring hope. Isaiah told the people not to lose hope. The justice they desired would come. These days were set in the future. The people could be assured that justice would prevail. Second, God always keeps his promises. God promised his people a just servant, unlike the corrupted leaders in the days of Isaiah. This servant would bring true justice. He would not be sidetracked from his mission. This servant rule would shine throughout the whole earth. The mission would bring spiritual reflection and freedom in all insight of people. God gave the people a reason to believe in this vision. This was coming from someone whom when I speak of they were the Israelites and you and I, believe in God, the Almighty Creator. This was the same God who made the heaven and earth and humankind. This message came from the same God who had proven worthy of their praise, for we know that God inhabits the praises of his people. One thing that believers can say about God is that he always keeps his promise. Without a doubt, we know that Jesus Christ is the servant promised in Isaiah, the 42nd chapter. When Jesus came to this earth, he took on a role of a servant sent to reconcile humanity to God. Who could better assure such a role than God himself? And that is Jesus, who is God the Son. Jesus provided the only sacrifice which could cleanse all humanity of sins for all times. He sacrificed himself. Today, people is just like the people in the days of Isaiah. We need such a vision to get us through these troubling times. Our nation has been affected with the coronavirus. We must understand that this too shall pass. But the Apostle Paul reminds us in 2 Chronicles, the 7th chapter and the 14th verse, and it states, "If my people, which are called by my name, shall humble themselves, pray, seek my face, turn from their wicked ways, Then I will hear from heaven and will forgive their sins and heal their land. God gave us a just servant today, who is Jesus, the author and the finisher of our faith. Thank you, and may God continue to bless you and be saved.